Board member with the Hidalgo County. On March 16, 2020, Governor Greg Abbott granted a request by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton to temporarily suspend certain open meeting law requirements to the extent necessary to allow telephonic and video conference meetings in response to COVID-19. In accordance with the law, notice of the meeting of the Board of Hidalgo County Number 1 has been posted online for at least 72 hours. Although members of the board are not gathered in a central physical location, we do have a attendance at this meeting. The board is meeting by use of Zoom software and telephone transmission, which allows two-way communication for members of the public during public comments. This meeting
Say hello.
Hello.
Raise the volume down.
we can hear you, Commissioner.
How can you hear it?
All other meetings.
Right now.
Board adopted procedures to extent possible. A record of this meeting is being made and will be available to the public at a later date. We apologize in advance for unforeseeable difficulties and ask for your patience as we navigate these conditions. The time is now 1:45 p.m. and I will call this meeting to order. We will begin with a roll call to establish quorum.
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2. Commissioner on mute, Commissioner Flores. Commissioner Flores is in attendance.
Ali Torres, Precinct 4.
We have a quorum. We'll start off with prayer. We can bow our head in prayer. Dear Lord, as we come together as a community in the healing of our county, I'm sorry, go ahead and lead us, Raul Cecine. Jaime, do you have a prayer?
Of course, I definitely will. Let us pray. Father God, we give you thanks again for another day, Lord. We continue to ask for your guidance for our judge and four commissioners, Lord, that you go appoint and lead this great county, Lord. Provide with your wisdom, Lord. We continue to ask for safety for all those dealing with the responding of the emergency, Lord. Continue to ask for your guidance on them. Keep them safe, Lord. Continue to ask for your protection over all of them, all our people, all our residents that are battling not just the COVID-related issues, Lord, but also this Hurricane Hannah, Lord. We continue to ask for your peace and patience over all our county, Lord, as we deal with the current pandemic and the disaster that has happened in our area, Lord. We ask for your hand of healing over us, Lord, as we continue again to deal with the pandemic and the disaster, Lord. And we ask for your guidance and your unity. Unite us all, Lord, as we work together to address all the issues of our county, Lord. Thank you for the opportunity that you allow us to serve, Lord. We ask this all in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Noah, do we have anyone signed up for open forum?
No, Commissioner. No one signed up for open forum for drainage or the regular session.
Okay, good to know. Thank you, Noah. The consent agenda, Chief?
Everything's in order, sir. We have just some permits and some administrative that have been looked at by my staff. Everything's in order. We recommend approval.
Move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. If I may, item 5A, discussion as it relates to what is now Hurricane Storm Hannah. When we posted this, obviously it was a tropical storm. Just wanted to open it up, just give general information on what we have so far at the district and open it up for the precincts and the judge's office if they want to share anything regarding the hurricane, where we are right now. I'm gonna look at sharing my screen here real quick. Go down the bottom, the green. So in essence, can everyone see my screen right now?
Yes, sir.
Great. So this is just information that we share with all the judge in the four precincts, just This is just a big aerial view of how the storm came in. You can see the light color areas are the 14 plus inches, and everything else starts going out, starts dropping from 14 and above down. So you can see how the path came right through the heart of our area. As you know, the district manages 90% of the populated area, about 51% of the county. So this is the district boundary here that you see. And you can see that the storm greatly impacted our most populated area. This is always just zooming in a little bit more, the same information. You can see the color, how everything came through. Again, the 14 inches plus is the light color, and then everything else starts going down. We have, this is now just of our area, just of the district area, primarily zoomed in. The same theme, showing the 14 plus in our area. We do have pump location laws where we have all our pumps operating right now. We have 26 pumps going right now. At any given time, we manage them on and off. This shows our log where our pumps are on or off as well. Where they go down, we get our mechanics to work on it. So we are doing a lot of pumping into the floodway. There are some internal pumps that have been set up throughout the district. But right now, a lot of our pumping has been to move a lot of the area water out of our main drains out of our area. And this is the gate log that we maintain. So this gate log here shows all the gates that we are managing. Everything's open, with the exception, of course, of Panchitas. We've had to manage that, and we're still managing that Panchitas to manage the water that we send down to Willacy County. So those remain still closed and will remain closed. We do have flow, we just have the control flow. When I say closed, is we're controlling the flow that's going out of our area, so we don't flood our sister county. But everything is moving right now. All the gates are open, so we have positive flow from our internal drainage into the IBDC floodway. So everything looks promising, looks good. So in essence, just that information was just the general information that we have. General information for the board and the public. The drain in the central part of the county has gone down, in the western part about 4 to 5 feet by now. However, we still have all that water making its way through Edinburgh into the east side of the county, going into precinct 1. There, all our systems are flowing to capacity. We're getting a lot of calls from individuals about areas that water is standing in the low-lying areas. Until we're able to get the water out of our system, we can't get that water accommodated into our system. And a lot of that water will naturally come into drainage system once it's low enough, because there are outfalls in those areas that we visited. Not all of them, but the majority of them do have outfalls, but it's just not enough capacity in the system for those outfalls to flow in via gravity into the system. So we'll see a lot of that alleviating itself. And then obviously our next phase for the district is going to be to evaluate some of the areas where the water has crested, where we had issues with washouts, any type of debris that has clogged our system. We're going to be focusing on that and working with the precincts also on the coordination of the perimeter pumping and what needs to get done for our main drains to get down and assist in moving water through our system. So that's kind of where we are right now at the district. I don't know, the commissioners or judge's office, if any comments you would like to make.
We can go in order. Fuentes, if you have any comments you'd like to make or questions.
Well, I mean, I guess for the benefit of the community, Raul, what do you see as far as the timing that you will see water be able to go down, and then we can see our county really start draining? Because I know that, being the easternmost part of the county, we're pretty much the last ones to drain, and a lot of our areas, under 2, 3, 4 feet of water in those most vulnerable low-lying areas. So do you see that as 2 more days, 3 more days?
In our system, Commish, as I mentioned, on the west side, we've seen a lot of areas that were underwater. Some subdivisions are underwater have alleviated just naturally by gravity flow. We had to pump in some areas, but and that took over 24 hours. In the 48 hours, we'll see a lot of our systems start accommodating, but this one looks like it's going to be a little bit longer, just because of the amount of water that we receive throughout the whole watershed. In your area, sir, it's a little harder to gauge because of those natural low areas. Our our east lateral is flowing full to capacity. We were out there earlier today. Our Manchitas, as I said, is full to capacity. So we anticipate this being a little bit longer, but probably another week or so of full flow open gates. Right now, the good thing that we see is that our gates are fully open, as we reported earlier. So that's helping tremendously in getting water out of our area. But it's going to take a little bit longer because of the amount of water that we're seeing in our system. And some of the areas, like I said, they have crested in our main drain.
Yeah, well, I mean, this, I think, again, highlights just how important all of these bond projects are that we have in the pipeline and how critical it is to get them, to construction as soon as possible. I know that we've been working on hydrological studies, and we might have to apply for IBWC permits, but here we are in third year. I guess we're not these storms are not, just outliers or things that we get every once in a while. I guess we should plan for these things all the time. Obviously, our bond is to address a lot of these needs. Let's continue to explore what other options we have as far as creating detention facilities along the main drain or in other locations, because we're going to need to find more solutions. Obviously, again, we're stressed out on our drains, and let's just plan for the worst case scenario now.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Flores, you have a comment or a question? Commissioner Flores, you have a comment or a question for Raul?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. No, of course, we sit about maybe way up higher than Precinct 1. And of course, we sit, real high compared to Precinct 1. And of course, we have cities all over the city, and the community of La Jolla, and the community of Peñitas, Alton. They're calling us left and right. And we're just north of Mission, and we had a lot of rain all over the valley. And we need to get this taken care of as soon as we can. We got vacuum trucks going and vacuum trucks and pump trucks. That's all we got. And of course, some pumps. You hear me, Raul?
Yes, sir. We got it, sir. We've been talking to Victor, and he had highlighted some areas. A lot of the area that we've gotten feedback, we talked to Peñitas, the Peñitas South Detention Basin. It's full along with the Peñitas Drain. A bell pit took in water as well. So we're looking and seeing how we can move water from the South Detention Basin into the southern portion where originally it was connected down in that area. So I've got one of my maintenance operation assistant director, Mr. Auditor, so at least looking at that and seeing what we need to do to plan to get capacity in the South Detention Basin to address the Peñitas concern that came in. So we're all working on that, Commissioner. And those are the calls that we've gotten primarily in your precinct.
That's real good. That pond, LNG dug out there, it's almost full, the basin. It's full
Yes,
up
sir,
to the top.
It's impressive, 60 acres and it's full. And it's a deep sucker, about 15 feet or greater, 20 feet. So
yes,
it's very impressive. A lot of water came in that area.
We had maybe 12 to 16 inches total.
Yes, sir. We did take in a lot of water over.
Thank you.
Commissioner Torres?
Yes, I'd just like to thank the Drainage District for all their work. I know they're working 24 hours as much as our staff is as well. We do have a lot of our vacuum trucks mobilized out there, not only the ones that we own here at Precinct 4, but the ones that we've contracted out. We've got about 15 of them out there right now. in addition to the smaller water tanks trucks that we have, as well as pumps. I know everything that goes up has to come down, and everything that falls up there in the west area has to come from Mission to Edinburgh and down to you, Precinct 1, Mr. Fuentes. We realize that, and right now, many of our ditches have crested over, and that's the flooding that our people are experiencing right now, on top of what continued to fall yesterday. Another 5 inches in some areas here in the Edinburgh area, in the Elsa area. But, we've been getting the calls from the people that they didn't have water before, and now they're getting water. And it's difficult for them to understand when a ditch only has so much capacity, it's going to spill over and it's going to affect them. But we're doing the best we can. Our staff is very willing and to work around the clock, which they are. And of course, the first day we spent a lot of that doing a lot of assessments and clearing of the debris from the roads to make sure that people had a way to evacuate, a way to mobilize our units out there, our vacuum trucks and our electric companies and so forth. So I wanted to give a shout out to all the staff that was out there working late hours in the humidity and removing all that debris. The vacuum trucks, like I said, that were mobilized and will continue to be out there until all that water is pushed out. Mr. Cecine, thank you so much. I know that the 2018 bond that was passed at the end of the year of 2018 has been, for the most part, I think all of it has been awarded, and the design and the engineering part of it is taking place right now. And I'm excited to see that soon those projects will be going into the ground. And it's just unfortunate that Hannah beat us to the punch. We didn't get to get those projects into the ground because they do take time to be designed and engineered. But I do have hope for the future. And in addition to that, I know that we will continue to push our federal government out there. I know Vicente, Congressman Vela, and all of them out there, Senator Cornyn, are pushing for that Raymondville drain, which is another major water highway that we need for the valley. And so just know, I want the constituents to know that we are doing all that we can, and we are here to serve. And until everyone is dried out, we will be here.
Thank you all. I want to let the Drainage District know that we appreciate their work, and the public, we appreciate the phone calls. We understand their concern and the stress that they feel when they're not sure if water is going to come in or stay out of their house. We understand that, and that's why when we did pass the bond deal, we invested almost half of the money in Precinct 1, because without Precinct 1, nobody else drains. So I can't wait till all of that has been constructed so that we can see the fruits of our labor. We just need to push our engineers to finish their design and get everything to construction. But for the most part, we've done it as fast as possible. And I know Raul and Jaime have pushed the engineers, but we need to keep stay in their ear and tell them that we need this stuff done so that we can get it constructed before next summer. Hopefully, we're not going to have more events, but when we have 8 inches of rain, there's really nothing that we can do other than work once it stops raining. But we'll learn from this. We're taking minutes at Precinct 2 to see where we have issues, so that we can make sure that we're going to be able to address them later. And I'm sure all of the other precincts are keeping records and pictures and drone flights so that we can be better next time. We'll move on to the next item, 5B.
5B, requesting approval to purchase the following vehicles: SISB forwarding through district membership participation, Goodbye Purchasing Corporation, contract number 28F000, and the total amount $302,001.50, including freight. We have 7 F-250s, regular cab, and 3 250s crew cab. This was budgeted from last year's budget and is part of the fleet that we need to run our operations. But at the same time, we'll be using part of this fleet once we get our Restore Act project in awarded.
Move for approval.
Second.
Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 5C, requesting exemption for bid requirements of Texas Local Government Code 262-02484, professional engineering services.
Go ahead and read the next one, Owen. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's a long one. Can I get a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Presentation is forum granted the firm created the district qualified commission for the purpose of ranking by the board of directors in connection with professional engineering service for Rainbow Drain Act project required for Dow County Issue number 1, firm name S&B Infrastructure 9750, Having Associates 96, KCI Technologies 95.5. The board wish to rank as stated.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Item 3, pursuant to the board's approval, requesting authority of Dow County Issue number 1, negotiate professional service agreement number 1 ranked firm of S&B Infrastructure Limited for the provision of professional engineering services Rainbow Drain Act project for Dow County Issue number 1.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Carries.
Item 6A, requesting authority of advertising approval plan specifications, competitive seal proposals developed by project engineer Guzman and Munoz Surveying. And for Dow County Issue 1, Malone Drive, Pomelo Road 2018 bond referendum project 18. TSP number ACD 120430819, including the advertisement of the project and the vendor responsible received and the project direction and project still required.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B, requesting authority to advertise and approval plan specifications competitive proposals developed by project engineer Guzman Munoz Survey Inc. for the Dow County Issue 1, Ola Blanca and Mile 10 North, 2018 bond referendum project 28, CSP number ACD 120040819, doing the re-advertisement of the project in the event no response to received and or rejected, and project still required.
Move for approval.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Item C, acceptance and approval of supplement agreement number 6 and professional engineering service contract with S&P Special LLC for the design and expansion of Rainbow Drain Outfall System to extend the termination date until August 31st, 2020, pursuant to Article 8 of the contract. We're working with S&B in the scope and work for this current contract. And we asked the board to extend it for 30 days to allow for us to work those proposed changes so we can extend the contract for a longer period of time.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. 7A, request approval of supplement agreement number 1 to the professional engineering service contract CACD 11905500813 Javier Negocios Engineering Project, Moorfield Inspiration Road, 5 Mile Road to Mount 9 Road to reflect revised Exhibit D work schedule. Extended termination August 1st, 2021. If I can read the second one, requesting approval of supplement agreement number 1 for work position number 1, professional engineering service contract CACD 11905503813 with Javier Negocios Engineering Project, Moorfield Inspiration, Mile 6, reflective revised period of end August 1st, 2021, subject both to legal review and compliance House Bill 1295.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B, requesting approval of supplement agreement number 1 professional engineering service contract CACD 11803600814 with Happens Inc. for the project Delta Region Water Management Project to provide Exhibit C work schedule with an extended termination date of August 15, 2021. So legal review and compliance.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 We do not have any closed session items.
Thanks for all you guys do.
Yeah, thank you all. Stay
Yes.
safe out there. Keep the mask going. I know it's hard when you have a lot of people, but
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're practicing all hygiene. Mr. Salazar, when our maintenance director prepared a lot of PPEs and for all the guys that are out there. So yes, they're well equipped with sprays and everything. Yes, sir. We're doing all that as well.
make sure they're well fed if they're working 24/7.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Commissioner,
Yes.
my apologies, if I may interject. Commissioner and Mr. Cecine, for the record, since there was no closed session item, then item 9A and 9B under open session, there is no action as well. For the
That's
record.
correct.
Okay.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Hey, before you start the next meeting, Eddie, Valde, can you before, when the meeting starts, can you make an announcement about phone lines at the precinct or down? People are going to be calling about the hurricane, and we can't.
Yes, sir.
We have no access to phones right now.
Can we push them to social media or something?
Oh, it's still no working.
I don't know. We're getting a ton of phone calls. I'm not sure who can handle the volume of what we're getting. It's really, right now, it's just a switch. But anyway, Valde, I don't want you to break quorum. Just.
All right. Commissioner Cantu, Noah, when we're ready to start, Commissioner Cantu, if we can go straight to the emergency meeting.
Okay, I have a question.
We're still live right now. So
Okay.
Victor or Josie, do I need to read that long thing for the emergency meeting?
Yes, Commissioner, please.
Okay. I got it. Good afternoon. I'm Eddie Cantu, board member with the Commissioner's Court. On March 16, 2020, Governor Greg Abbott granted a request by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton to temporarily suspend certain open meeting law requirements to the extent necessary to allow telephonic and video conference meetings in response to COVID-19. In accordance with the law, notice of this meeting of the Board of Hidalgo County Commissioners Court has been posted online for at least 72 hours. In this case, we have the emergency meeting. Although members of the board are not gathered in a central physical location, we do have quorum in attendance at this meeting by video conference or telephone call. The board is meeting by the use of Zoom software and telephone transmission, which allows two-way communication for members of the public during public comments. This meeting is being broadcast live online. As we would at any in-person meeting, members of the public who have followed the instructions on the meeting notice for registering to speak during the public comment portion will be called at the telephone number they have provided to speak for up to the allotted time. All other meeting procedures will adhere to board adopted procedures to the extent possible. A recording of this meeting is being made and will be available to the public at a later date. We apologize in advance for any unforeseeable difficulties and ask for your patience as we navigate these conditions. The time is now 2:11 p.m. and I will call this meeting to order. Let's go ahead and do roll call again.
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2.
Dolores, Precinct 3.
Ellie Torres, Precinct 4.
Thank you all. We have a quorum.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Valde 2.
Item 2 for the county judge's office. Do we have Chief Saldana on the line? Commissioners, if I may, for the county judge's office, this is under emergency management. This would be approval of continuance of local state of disaster under Texas Government Code Section 418.108, and this is that relates to the disaster declaration enacted by Judge Cortez.
We need a motion.
So move.
Second.
Oh, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioners, with your permission, I'm going to ask Mr. Cruz, our budget director, to present item B for the Moody Foundation. Mr. Cruz?
Commissioners. Item 2B, acceptance of grant award from the Moody Foundation, grant number 2020-172, in the amount of $250,000 for assistance for first responders, frontline workers, and personal protective equipment in response to the COVID-19 crisis, with authority for the county judge to sign the required documents, which are the grant contract. Requesting approval.
Second.
So move.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thanks, Commissioner.
3A for the purchasing department, Martha Salazar. A, applicable and necessary action to address flooding situations directly attributable to Hurricane Hannah beginning July 25th, 2020, including but not limited to the following. A, ratification of notices of activations sent by the purchasing department to the following contracts as recommended by emergency management as a direct result of Hurricane Hannah, which impacted the need for said services commencing on July 25th, 2020. 1, series service contract with the number noted for disaster recovery services on an as-needed basis. 2, Tetra Tech Incorporated, contract as noted for debris monitoring and recovery services on an as-needed basis. 3, preposition dewatering services contracts on an as-needed basis for A, Longhorn Paving Oil Field Services, B, MOVAC, C, Y Environmental, and D, Butch Oil Field Services and Supplies. Could I have action on A?
Move for approval.
1, 2, 3.
Second.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B is activation recommended by emergency management and the filling of forms 213 for Hidalgo County contracts. 1, series service contract is noted, Crowder Gulf service contract is noted, and DRC service contract is noted for pre-positioned emergency debris management services to assist in floodwaters extraction countywide, Hurricane Hannah, including any signatures necessary for the county judge and processing of requisitions, purchase orders. And that's for all recovery services that are given. Right now, we're using the primary series, but the other 2 could be activated.
Move for approval?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Carries.
B2, contract number is noted for Tetra Tech Incorporated, preposition debris monitoring and recovery service to assist in the required monitoring of water extraction and related services, including signatures necessary by county judge to sign with submission of requisitions and processing of purchase orders.
Move for approval.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C, action to activate the contracts detailed herein, series Crowder Gulf, DRC, Tetra Tech, Longhorn Paving, MOVAC, Field Supplies, Y Environmental, on an as-needed basis is coordinated through emergency management with submission of the 213s for all precincts, countywide operations, and necessary to address flooding situations, either continuing through more rains or the aftermath of said Hurricane Hannah, commencing on July 25th, with authority for the county judge to issue and sign notices to proceed with submission of requisitions and processing of purchase orders.
Approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
Commissioner, we have item 4 for Community Service Agency. Mr. Longoria, are you on the line, sir?
Yes, I am, brother. Thank you. Commissioners, good afternoon, Commissioners. Item 4A is discussion, consideration, and possible action to update the 2020 Weather Disaster Services Matrix to reflect projected funding availability. Commissioners, this is an action that we need to take in order to, we're evaluating the funding that we have available to respond to Hurricane Hannah. Our disaster matrix, as presented in your packet, reflects a $300 benefit. We know that's literally just a small token amount of assistance, but given the magnitude and the number of families that have been affected across the county, and given our budget constraints, we're looking to implement a very short-term program of $300, $100 for vehicle expense and clothing that may have been damaged, $100 for food and essentials, and $100 for cleanup kits to be able to help families at least begin the recovery process. This is a necessary step. In addition to this, I'll just inform the court that we at the agency have been busy evaluating requests from local entities and emergency management to put people in shelter and get them out of the elements. That's our primary response. We've been in contact with folks in the West, Sullivan City, the city of Peñitas. I know Edinburgh Police Department, the Sheriff's Office. All of those entities have contacted us, and we have placed approximately 30 families in emergency shelter. Many of those families remain in hotels as we speak. So given our budget constraints and given that our funder has not indicated whether or not additional funding specifically earmarked for Hurricane Hannah is on its way, until that moment, then I'm going to be very be very, very prudent with the limited resources that we have. We're looking to implement a little bit of a program to assist families. So the matrix is reflected a $300 benefit for families.
Move approval.
Again.
I may have a question. Are we running out of space? Is that my understanding?
Space in terms of hotel for families?
Yes.
Yes, sir. At the height of this, Sunday and Monday were very difficult to find hotel space. We were placing families from the west in McAllen. We placed some families in Edinburgh. We were looking for space in as far east as Edinburgh. We made phone calls in Mercedes, looking, for places to put families. It's a double whammy, Commissioner. We have some people that are in hotels because of COVID. We have some people in hotels because of their doctors and nurses coming in from out of the area. And then we have families that just self-evacuated and got out of harm's way. So all of those things caused a confluence of issues for us, even though we had shopped around and tried to pre-contract some space. We had a very difficult time. We're kind of a little bit over that crunch right now, and we're able to find a little bit more space. And just this morning, I placed 2 families in hotels. I know that Sunday night we had the city of Peñitas calling, and the city of Sullivan. They were rescuing families out of the attic in their homes. So yes, sir, the space has become a big issue.
But I saw an email earlier today about some hotels that we had acquired. Was that COVID, 100% for COVID, or was it for the hurricane?
I'm not sure, Commissioner. I'm not sure, but I know that we had a difficult time because of that. Is what the hoteliers are telling us.
I'll call you offline, see if there's anything else we could do.
Yeah, yes, sir, Commissioner.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jaime.
I think that's it on this
Move
meeting.
to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Carries. Here we go again. Good afternoon. I'm Eddie Cantu, board member with the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court. On March 16, 2020, Governor Abbott granted a request by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton to temporarily suspend certain open meeting law requirements to the extent necessary to allow telephonic and video conference meetings in response to COVID-19. In accordance with the law, notice of this meeting of the Board of Commissioners Court has been posted online for at least 72 hours. Although members of the board are not gathered in a central physical location, we do have a quorum in attendance at this meeting by video conference or telephone call. The board is meeting by the use of Zoom software and telephone transmission, which allows two-way communication for members of the public during public comments. This meeting is broadcast live online. As we would at any in-person meeting, members of the public who have followed the instructions on the meeting notice for registering to speak during the public comment portion will be called at the telephone number that they have provided to speak for up to the allotted time. All other meeting procedures will adhere to board adopted procedures to the extent possible. A recording of this meeting is being made and will be available to the public at a later date. We apologize in advance for any unforeseeable difficulties and ask for your patience as we navigate these conditions. The time is now 2:22 p.m. and I call this meeting to order. We will begin with a roll call to establish quorum.
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2.
Joe Lawless, Precinct 3.
Ellie Torres, Precinct 4.
We have quorum. We can start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We can bow our head in prayer, please. Dear Lord, as we come together as a community in the healing of our county, we ask that you please remain with us as our neighbors, family, business, educators, and healthcare workers struggle through these difficult times of COVID-19 and through the recovery of Hurricane Hannah. We ask that during this crisis, you be with those most affected and to protect the vulnerable with your healing hands. We also ask that during this time of uncertainty, that you give us the knowledge and wisdom that will help guide us in making the best decisions possible for the people of Hidalgo County. In your name we pray. Amen.
Yeah.
On the consent agenda,
Yes, sir. Thank you, Commissioner. With your permission, Commissioners, I'd like to take out of order from consent agenda, agenda item 11A, 1 and 2. We could have a
Move for
motion.
approval without those two.
So moved.
Second.
all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Commissioners, for the record, consent agenda item 11A, 1 and 2, Commissioner Fuentes will be abstaining from any discussion and or action. With that being said, everything else is in order. Could I have a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries with the abstention.
Thank you.
Mr. Lopez, do we have any?
Eddie, Valde, real quick, can you go to 19 A1 and just give an update? I need to update on just to give people the information that the phone lines aren't on
Yes, sir. 19.
at our office.
Yes, sir. 19A, 2.
One or two, yeah.
Yes, emergency situations occurring since last agenda item. Yes, Commissioners, with that being said, obviously we had Hurricane Hannah make its landfall and have detrimental
Getting near the
flooding to our county with respect to the rain event. We have had numerous outages throughout the county and specifically to your area. We have had difficulties with the phone lines to your office. And so we have, as to the extent possible, we have been trying to get the word out to our residents that in your area, the phone lines specifically to your administrative offices, we are having trouble and we're still trying to resolve the issue. And so we'll also work through Ms. Jackie, Public Information Office, to continue getting the word out to our constituents in your area.
Yes, I know that we have a lot of people that want to report different situations with respect to the flooding and everything that's going on, but we just wanted the community to know right now that the phone lines are down.
Right.
And that hopefully they'll be up soon, but if we could just let the community know about that temporarily, that we just can't accept any calls at this time.
Right. And Commissioners, with that being said, there also has been issues with cell service. And so I know that a lot of our constituents have tried to get a hold of us as administrators through our cell numbers, but there has been a disruption in cell service as well. And so we ask them to please bear with us and while we work through that issue as well. Okay.
Okay, thank you. We can go back to, there's anybody signed up, Noah? Nobody signed up for open forum?
Mr. Lopez?
He had mentioned that there wasn't anyone.
No, nobody signed up.
Okay.
Thank you. 6A, County Judge's Office. Anybody else from the County Judge's Office, or you want to handle all that?
Yes, I will, with your permission, if you will allow me. Let me just real quickly go to the agenda for 6A. Is discussion, consideration, approval of memorandum of understanding between Workforce Solutions, the County of Hidalgo, and the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. There is no fiscal at this time. The appropriate paperwork has been submitted and is part of our backup commissioners.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
You.
7, Sheriff's Office.
Afternoon, Commissioners. Sheriff's Operations Storm Garden Grant 1284. One, authorization for approval to apply for the 2019 Operation Storm Garden Grant for the Sheriff's Office, Governor and Security Division for the period of July 1st, 2020 through February 28, 2021.
Sir, it's hard to understand. Go ahead and read the item for you.
So,
Or Wanda, can you read the item instead?
if I may, It is the Sheriff's Office operation. It is Stone Grant. It is their Fund 1284. They're requesting authorization approval to apply for the fiscal year 2019 Stone Garden Grant with the Office of Governor Homeland Security Division. And this is through e-grants for the period of July 1st, 2020 through February 28th, 2021 is the first action item.
Go ahead and keep going.
Item 2 with that same action is authorization approval for the county judge as authorized official to e-sign the application form and related documents under e-grants, as well as the approval of resolution for fiscal year 2019 Operation Stone Garden Grant to designate Judge Richard F. Cortez as grantee's authorized official and sign required documents.
Move for approval on 7, 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Commissioners, if I may, I will proceed also with Constable 1 and Constable 2. It is going to be the same action as the Sheriff's Office. Constable Precinct 1, Operation Stone Garden Grant, Fund 1284. They're asking approval to apply, authorization approval to apply for the fiscal year 2019 Operation Stone Garden Grant with the Office of Governor's Homeland Security Division through e-grants for the period of July 1st, 2020 through March 31st, 2021. Asking authorization approval for the county judge as authorized official to e-sign the application form and related documents under e-grants, as well as approval of the resolution for fiscal year 2019 Operation Stone Garden Grant to designate County Judge Richard F. Cortez as grantee's authorized official and sign required documents.
Move for approval on 8, 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Commissioners, if I continue for Constable Precinct 2, their Operation Stone Garden, which is their Fund 1284, authorization approval to apply for fiscal year 2019 Operation Stone Garden Grant with the Office of the Governor's Homeland Security Division through e-grants for the period of July 1st, 2020 through March 31st, 2021, as well as authorization and approval for the county judge as authorized official to e-sign the application form and related documents under e-grants, and approval of resolution for fiscal year 2019 Operation Stone Garden Grant to designate County Judge Richard F. Cortez as grantee's authorized official to sign required documents.
Move for approval on 9, 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. 10, Human Resources.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Raul Silguero representing Human Resources. Item 10A is some waivers that we need. First, we're requesting a waiver of the following, if applicable, for personnel items that are listed. Number 1, Civil Service Commission Rules, Section 3.22. Hidalgo County Personnel Policy Manual, Section 6.27, and Budget Amendment Policy Personnel Related Amendments. If I could have a waiver of the those 3 items, please.
Move for approval on 10, 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 10B is for the Health Department. The Health Department, the ELC COVID grant, that's a grant that the Health Department got related to epidemiology. And the item reads approval of the following personnel actions effective upon Commissioner's Court approval. They're asking approval to create 3 positions, 3 epidemiology technologists, 2, and 2, a technologist 2, a technologist 1, and a technician 1 at the listed grades. This is a grant. And item 2 is approval to revise the classification position list to include the new COVID-19 epidemiology technologist 1, neurologist 2, and the technician 1 positions, please.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 10C, CARES Act Relief Fund, Fund 1287. 1, discussion, consideration, and action to approve a necessary CARES Act Relief Fund expenditure to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item, allotment, or allocation for personnel costs to create 2 forensic center attendant positions and 1 COVID-19 communications coordinator to assist with county actions to facilitate compliance with public health measures addressing the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court having reviewed the agenda item briefing, and we're pending the item, the agenda item briefing. So we're asking approval to approve this item subject to the briefing. Herein finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use. Item 2 is approval to create the following time-limited positions effective upon Commissioner's Court approval. The District Attorney's Office and the County Judge's Office, that would be to create a forensic center attendant. There's two positions, slot 31 and slot 32, and to create a COVID-19 communications coordinator, grade 16, slot 33. So that would be asking approval for items 1 and 2. Or let me go for 3. Let me read 3. Approval to revise the classified position list to include the new forensic center attendant and the COVID-19 communications coordinator position. So if the court approves the items, it would be items 1, 2, and 3.
Move for approval, items 1, 2, and 3.
Again.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
That's all I have. Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Thank you,
Thank you,
Commissioner.
sir.
Health and Human Services, 11A.
Good morning. This is Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health. I have 11A, requesting approval to accept the ELC COVID grant contract number HHS0008127000025 in the amount of $358,778 to be effective August 1st, 2020 and end April 30th, 2022 for county judge to e-sign the contract and related documentation.
Move for approval.
Again.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2 is requesting approval of certification of revenue by county auditor in the amount of $358,787 in appropriations for the same.
Move for approval.
Again.
All in favor,
Second.
say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Commissioner, item B is indigent healthcare services. I'd like to take no action on item B1 and 2. I'll bring those back next week pending some information.
Eddie, we appreciate it, and please let your staff know we appreciate all their hard work. We know it's going on day too many, but we appreciate y'all.
Thank you very much. It's a good team, sir. We have a good team. Thank you.
Head Start.
Good afternoon. We have several items. The first one is discussion and approval of the relocation of 2 centers. Edinburgh 1 is relocating to Edinburgh 2, and T.S. Roosevelt in McAllen is relocating to Bonham. Edinburgh 1 is a center in the housing area that has been closed on South 25th Street. And so we've added a classroom in Edinburgh 2, and that's owned by the Housing Authority. And so they allowed us to add additional classroom there. And we'll be transporting the children in the area that was from Edinburgh 1 to Edinburgh 2. And the Roosevelt, McAllen ISD determined that it was a better location to go to Bonham. That's another elementary school in McAllen. We're about to finalize everything related to licensing in terms of the relocations to occur. We think that the Bonham, we agree with McAllen ISD, the Bonham area would be better suited for the parents to drop off and pick up children. And of course, it would be serving the same general area that Roosevelt was serving. We recommend approval of both relocations.
Move for
Move for
approval.
approval. Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B is discussion approval of request to enter in a memorandum of understanding between Hidalgo County Head Start Program and McAllen Independent School District, and that's to accommodate Roosevelt, the move from Roosevelt to Bonham Elementary.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Letter C is requesting exemption from competitive bidding under the Texas Local Government Code 262.024 for professional services to provide medical, dental services, and mental health services.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
The second part is presentation of responses received for the purpose of Commissioners Court accepting the providers as qualified in order to proceed to the next phase of the procurement process, negotiating contracts. Under medical and dental, we have Dr. Orfanos for medical, Dr. Bose for medical. I better read the official name here. G. Atanasi Orfanos, MD, PA for medical. Dr. Bose Industrial and Family Medicine, PPLC, doing business as Industrial Health Works for medical. Growing Smiles Children's Dental Care Center, PC for dental. And letter D, Nuestra Clínica del Valle Incorporated Medical and Dental. Then under Mental Health Services, we have Generations Growing Together Incorporating, doing business as Growing Generations of South Texas, Linda Diane Myers, and Ileana E. Castro. Administration recommends the second step of the process be approved.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And the third step is approval for Head Start to negotiate contracts in the form of approved by the legal counsel for all the professional services providers as requested through the Hidalgo County Head Start programs RFQ for the said services as detailed above and attached in the agenda item.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And the last item, D, is discussion approval of program calendars for program year 2020, 2021. I'd like for you to take no action. We started off with some dates. We've changed the dates several times. Right now, we have a return date of August the 6th for staff training, respecting the homebound, situation that we have with the county right now. Children would not be instructed in the classrooms until after September the 27th. So we'll come back to you with calendars that are more up to date and current as we work our way through our partnerships with the school districts. At this time, we're working very hard to try to see how we're going to be able to serve children. We have received $3 million in the CARE Act so that we can be able to prepare for that. We spend a lot of that on software, hardware for instructing children, tables, and the whole process in the classroom has been dismantled and assembled again so that we can be able to do the distance learning that we have to do, as well as the distancing to provide us with the space needed to address the needs of our children and our staff. I believe that we will be able to carry on safely, and we're hoping that we'll be able to finish and finalize all the preparations that we have to do between now and the time that children come back at the end of September. So we'll bring calendars to you later. I guess that's the message here. No action in the calendars that have been submitted.
I get a motion, or we don't need a motion?
We don't need
No, it was no action.
Right.
Got it. Next.
Thank you very
much. Go ahead, Jaime.
Okay, good afternoon, commissioners. Again, item 13A is discussion, consideration, and action to accept a check in the amount of $5,000 from the Vista Corporate Services Company as agent to benefit for the Hidalgo County residents for the Texas TXU Energy Aid Program. This is a donation from TXU.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 13B, commissioners, is discussion, consideration, and possible action to accept the recommendation of the Community Advisory Board regarding approval of program year 2020, community needs assessment, cap plan, and budget. Commissioners, there's one addition to this. It's the COVID cap plan. This is regarding the funding, the CARES Act funding that we received that was independent of the funding that you all received. The state and the federal government would like for us to set in paper exactly and electronically what we plan to spend the money on. We attached the actual cap plan, and of course the top 5 needs for y'all's information is, and this is very intuitive with regards to COVID-19 and their needs, the folks that are affected by COVID-19. That's food, utilities, housing, medical expenses, and possibly transportation. So we listed all of that. We put together a budget that reflected the staff that we hired to address those particular needs, and really didn't include any of the other administrative expenses, rent or utilities or anything else that we would pay. It's strictly staff and supplies and direct services to families. And that's what's reflected in this packet. So we're asking you all to adopt the CAP plan, the community needs assessment, and the service delivery plan.
Move for approval?
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion.
Thank you, commissioners.
14, planning. TJ?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, Commissioners. TJ Arredondo with the Planning Department. Item 14-1A is preliminary approval with a variance request. San Martin, number 6 subdivision in Precinct 1 is an 87-lot subdivision in a flood zone C. There will be an estimated number of 16 street lights and 6 filling stations. Drainage is provided by a storm sewer system, and detention will be provided by widening the existing drain ditch. It was approved by the City of Donna. Water is provided by North Alamo Water Supply Corporation, and septic tanks will be used. Canton Road is paved, and 4 internal streets are to be paved. And the variance is to reduce the required road offset from north to south, from 125 shifting to the east, reducing it from 125 to 112. Recommend approval.
Move for approval?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
14-2A, B, and C are all up for 14-2A, B, C, and D are all up for preliminary approval. RG subdivision in Precinct 1 is a 3-lot subdivision in a flood zone C. Drainage is provided by natural percolation and surface runoff. It was approved by the City of Alamo. Water is provided by North Alamo, and septic tanks will be used. Next subdivision, San Rafael subdivision in Precinct 1 is a 57-lot subdivision in a flood zone C. There will be an estimated number of 12 street lights and 5 filling stations. Drainages will be provided by storm sewer, and detention will be provided by the proposed drain ditch. It was approved by the City of Donna. Water will be provided by North Alamo, and septic tanks will be used. 6 internal streets are to be paved. Next subdivision is Wade and Spring subdivision in Precinct 1, a 57-lot subdivision in a flood zone B with an estimated 10 street lights and 4 filling stations. Drainage is provided by a storm sewer system, and detention will be provided by a proposed drain ditch. It was approved by the City of Donna. Water is provided by North Alamo Water Supply, and septic tanks will be used. 2 internal streets will be paved. And the next subdivision, San Jacinto Estates number 4, Phase 2, in Precinct 1 is a 60-lot subdivision in a flood zone X. There are an estimated 15 street lights and 5 filling stations. Drainage is provided by a storm sewer system, and detention will be provided by widening the existing drain ditch. It is in the rural area of the county. Water is provided by North Alamo Water Supply Corporation, and septic tanks will be used. And 4 internal streets will be paved. We're recommending preliminary approval for all 4.
Wow, and these are all in precinct 1, right?
Precinct 1, and Precinct, yes, ma'am.
Move for approval?
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 14-3A is up for final approval. Garcia Oak Estates subdivision in Precinct 1 is a 5 single-family lot subdivision in a flood zone X. Drainage is provided by natural percolation and surface runoff onto Milano roadside ditch. It was approved by the City of Westaco. Water and sewer are provided by the city, and Milano's Road and Mile 7 are paved. We're recommending final approval.
Move for approval?
Joe just stepped away.
Yeah, because only 3 of you are right now. Feedback.
We have a motion, Commish. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Items 14-4A, B, and C are all up for final approval with a financial guarantee. Little Prairie South subdivision in Precinct 1 is a 1-lot subdivision in a flood zone X. Drainage is natural percolation. It's in the rural area of the county. Water is provided by North Alamo, and the septic tank will be escrowed. We have a cash deposit in the amount of $1,500 for the septic tank system. And the next subdivision, KK and H subdivision in Precinct 4, is a 1-lot subdivision in a flood zone X. Drainage is also provided by natural percolation and surface runoff onto Woodesti roadside ditch. It's in the rural area of the county. Water is provided by North Alamo, and the septic tank will be escrowed. We have a cash deposit in the amount of $1,500 for the septic tank system. And the last subdivision is Las Gardenias, subdivision in Precinct 4. 3 single-family lots, 1 multifamily, and 1 commercial lot in the subdivision. It's in a flood zone X. There is 1 filling station. Drainage is provided by natural percolation within the lots, and surface runoff will drain onto Mile 19 North and Valverde roadside ditch. It's in the rural area of the county. Water is provided by North Alamo, and septic tanks have been escrowed. We have a cash deposit in the amount of $8,500 for 3 septic systems. We're recommending final approval with a financial guarantee for all 3.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. 15, Precinct 2, ratification of the submission of a grant extension request to Valley Baptist Legacy Foundation to allow additional time for completion of the Precinct 2 Las Milpas Park Youth Facility Project. Request for approval to accept the extension of time granted by Valley Baptist Legacy Foundation for the completion of the Precinct 2 Las Milpas Park Youth Facility Project from 9/14/2020 to 9/21/2020.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. 16, Precinct 3.
Yes, 16A, requesting approval to accept counteroffer to purchase a tract of land known as Parcel 50 associated with the Veterans Boulevard project with the authority for the county judge to sign the administrative evaluation and approval for.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Sergio Cruz, Budget Management.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 17A, 1 and 2. Discussion, consideration, and action to approve of the ratification of necessary CARES Act relief fund expenditures as listed on Exhibit A, totaling $183,161.09 to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item allotment or allocation in connection with the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditures are necessary and reasonable for the intended use, along with the approval of the interdepartmental transfer.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 17B1 is approval to accept the County Transportation Infrastructure Fund, a CTIF grant award in the amount of $478,654.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 17B2 is pursuant to Title 43, Texas Administrative Code, Section 15.191. Discussion, consideration, and approval of the County Transportation Infrastructure Fund grant agreement between Hidalgo County and the Texas Department of Transportation, and approval of the resolution authorizing the county judge to sign said agreement and designating the county judge and county auditor as authorized county representatives to sign all other documentation related to the grant as necessary.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
On item 17C, we'll be requesting no action. We'll bring that item back again next week.
Thank you, Sergio.
Commissioners.
Thank you.
18, Purchasing, Ms. Marty.
Yes, good afternoon again. 18A1A. A discussion, consideration, and action to approve a necessary CARES Act relief fund expenditure to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item allotment or allocation for the unforeseen increase in fatalities, creating the necessity to expand dead body pickup and transport in order to assist with county functions related to the medical and public health measures addressing the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing herein, finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B is acceptance and approval of the short-term amendment subject to legal counsel final legal review as to form. to the agreement as posted on the agenda for services for dead body pickup and transport between Hidalgo County and Elite Transport and Cleanup Service, prompted, as I said in the earlier discussion, by the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's subject to compliance with 1295.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is acceptance and approval of the Hidalgo County Biosafety Lab pre-design submittal report from Go ERO International LLC, contracted architect for the facility for the design and construction of the lab, which includes but is not limited to the following. 1 is the program of spaces, 2, the probable cost of construction, and 3, the design schedule. May I have action?
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Items, and just for the record, the observation that was posted by the auditor has been addressed by sending the district attorney's position to the shared drive. Item 3A, discussion, consideration, and actions to approve a necessary CARES Act relief fund expenditure to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item allotment or allocation for the lease of a warehouse facility for emergency fatality management in order to assist the county's actions, facilitate compliance with public health measures addressing the ongoing COVID-19 emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item herein, finds that such expenditure is necessary for the intended use.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A 24A 1 and 2, and if applicable, further detailed in the attachments herein.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is acceptance and approval of a short-term lease of a warehouse facility in the Westlaco area between Hidalgo County and Alberto J. Garza Villarreal, DBA Villa Capital LLC, with an implementation date of 7/24/20 due to the impending storm-related urgency, subject to compliance with all statutory and county requirements and legal counsel's final review and approval as to form.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B1 for emergency management, A, discussion, consideration, and action to approve a necessary CARES Act relief fund expenditure to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item allotment or allocation for the Hidalgo County Office of Emergency Management for the relocation to a county-owned building that is in need of renovations and or repairs to serve as emergency operations and call centers in order to assist the county functions related to public health measures addressing the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing herein, finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is acceptance and approval of an AIA 101 form of agreement between Hidalgo County and Wright Ogden Figueroa Alex Architects in connection with the project specified herein for the renovation and remodeling of 2 county-owned buildings to serve as emergency operation and call centers for the Office of Emergency Management, subject to compliance with requirements and legal counsel's final review and approval as to legal form.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C for precinct 1. Item 1, approval to purchase 1 2,000-gallon PTO water tank plus and 1 2,000-gallon gravity flow truck from Truckers Equipment, evidenced through a requisition and purchase order protocol as requested and as detailed, and with the totals as posted on the agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2, I believe Mr. Guerra will take care of on the agenda if he's on.
Thank you, Ms. Salazar. Commissioners, with your permission, item 2, C2 to be exact, is acceptance and approval to execute the final agreement of professional appraisal services on an on-call basis for projects in general for Precinct 1 with Appraisal House, Inc. This was approved by Commissioners Court on July 14th of this year, and this is subject to legal approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank
Item
you.
1 for Precinct 2, requesting approval of supplemental agreement number 3 for services under work authorization number 1, the contract number as posted on the agenda for B2Z Engineering, resulting in an estimated cost of $29,023 for Precinct 2's Las Milpas Park Youth Facility Project.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E1 for Precinct 3, requesting approval of an access agreement right of entry between County of Hidalgo and Next Tier Completion Solutions Incorporated for property located in Precinct 3.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is authority to advertise and approval of procurement packet as approved by both TxDOT and Hidalgo County Drainage District number 1 for professional engineering services for inspection, material testing, and construction management for Mile 3 North Road Project, which is located in Precinct 3, and which, as I said before, has already been approved through TxDOT and Drainage District.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion.
Item 3 is acceptance and approval to execute the final form of professional engineering services agreement with Javier Hinojosa, the on-call professional engineering service for Precinct 3, and is approved for negotiations on June 16th.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
For item F1, this is for the Health Department. Presentation of the bids received as detailed and attached herein for the purpose of award and approval of contract with Mary X-Ray Corporation for the request for bids titled X-Ray Machine Purchase and evidence of such award through a purchase order protocol.
Approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting approval of work authorization 1 with an estimated cost of $43,850 as submitted by the civil engineer Sam E.S. Engineering and Surveying Incorporated to provide engineering services for the Hidalgo County Health Department's testing biosafety lab through contract number as posted.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
G1 for the Sheriff's Office. A, requesting authority to exercise the 60-day grace period extension as provided in the current agreement for the lease of tower space in La Jolla with SBA Communication Corporation under the same rates, terms, and conditions so as to have no lapse in service while the procurement process is completed and awarded.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
B is requesting authority to advertise with approval of the procurement packet for the project that I just named in item A, which is the lease of tower space in La Jolla.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
H1 is countywide. A, discussion, consideration, and action to approve a necessary CARES Act relief fund expenditure to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item allotment or allocation for the Hidalgo County purchase temperature screening devices from 3 vendors, SafeCheck, POP Shop LLC, and Wi-Fi's R Us LLC, in order to assist with county functions related to public health measures for the safety of all workers and residents using and or visiting county facilities to mitigate and address the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use.
Second first. What is it? Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, exemption from competitive bidding requirements, Texas Local Government Code 262-024A1 and 2, as posted on the agenda.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C, requesting approval to purchase the following temperature screening devices to be utilized at different county-owned offices, facilities, and locations as detailed on the scheduled attachment. Body scanners from SafeCheck body temperature bundle of 3 devices from PopsHap LLC and Thermal Biometric from Wi-Fi or Us LLC in the total amount of $423,335.
Move approval.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number I-1 for the IT department, requesting approval for the county auditor to process and issue checks in the amount of $600 prior to services being rendered to Anthony Kovacevic, consultant, DBA, accessibility checks and controls, designated by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation in order to permit the processing of a final inspection after the renovation of the county's NOC, which was in the annex building, and it was renovated at located at 100 East Cano, 4th floor. May I have some action?
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And that is all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, item 19A1, there is no action to be taken. Item 19A2, there was a report earlier in the meeting. Item B, requesting authorization and approval to apply for water service with the City of Edinburgh for 1 year, for a 1 water meter for the COVID-19 response portable buildings, with authority for county judge and or executive officer to sign all applicable forms.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B is requesting number 2 is approval of payment to the City of Edinburgh in the amount of $2,110 for the 2-inch water meter for COVID-19 response portable buildings, with authority for county treasurer to issue check after review, audit, and processing procedures are completed by our county auditor.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Commissioners, I will ask that we take item 20 after closed session.
So we're ready to go into closed session?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's 3:06. We're going to go into closed session under section 551, 071, 072, 074, and 087 to discuss some matters. Can I get a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, we are now in open session. With your permission, Commissioner Cantu, Commissioner Torres, and Commissioner Flores, under item 23, open session, 23A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same, there's no action to be taken. Item 23B, pending and or potential litigation, there is no action to be taken. Item 23C, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding response to public health emergency. I will refer to item 20 in a couple of minutes. Item 23D, consultation with attorney regarding proof of claim, filing Purdue bankruptcy for opiate litigation. There is no action to be taken. Item 23E, civil action number 719 CB 00153, Viviana Bautista et al. Versus Hidalgo County et al. Will proceed as directed. Item 23F, Hidalgo County versus Gerardo Medina Lugo. Commissioners, I am asking the court to take action in acceptance and settlement of Hidalgo County versus Gerardo Medina Lugo in the amount of $900.
In action.
Yes,
Move
sir.
for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 23G, TWCCRD number IB 1B 19946 BG versus County. We will proceed as directed. Item 23H, EEOC charge 451-2020-02-002 AB versus County of Hidalgo. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like for the court to entertain a motion in settlement of EEOC charge number 451-2020-02-002 AB versus County of Hidalgo in the amount of $10,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Commissioners, for the record, I'm moving on to 22A. 22B, there is no action under 22A, and there is no action under 22B. I'll refer back now to item 20, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding A, county's response to disaster health emergency. 1, CARES Act funds. Counselor, is there any discussion to be had on this matter?
Not at this time.
Okay.
No action.
Thank you. Item 20B, 1, measures necessary to preserve public health and safety. 1, McAllen Transitional Care Center bed reserve agreement. There is no action to be taken. And item 20C, direction regarding county government operations, including but not limited to essential functions. Commissioners, as we've been doing now for quite some time, we are practicing social distancing. We have face covering requirements, and we're doing everything that we can to preserve the health and safety of our residents that do business with the county, our residents in general, as well as our support staff and all employees of Hidalgo County. Commissioners, there is no need to go back into close or open session, and we do have a scheduled workshop, but I'm going to ask that we delay the workshop till next week. So when we adjourn, Commissioner Cantu, if we could just, for the record, announce that the scheduled workshop for today will be not acted on or not opened, and we will have the workshop on for next week.
Okay.
We're ready for a motion.
For adjournment?
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Again.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries, and the workshop has been postponed till at least next week.
Thank you, Commissioners.